Hey, welcome everybody. And Amber, how are you doing, hon?
Oh, I am fantastic. That little intro right there was so soothing.
Right? What a difference. And I had no idea that they had changed the music on it.
I
I'm like,
was like, oh, what
yeah.
is that?
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. Um how have you been for the past couple of weeks since I saw you last?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. We have a super guest tonight. I am so excited. Um,
Yeah.
I have been waiting on this one for a while. It is should keep us all in stitches anyway. Do you want to welcome who's in the chat?
For sure. We have Cullen at 8:45 this morning, actually.
Wow,
Uh,
that's
Kevin,
early.
Kevin McCoy.
Hey, honey.
I was like, you weren't gonna say it? Stacy Lynn, and we have Kirby, Curtis, the My Wife is Gonna Kill Me podcast, Jeremy, Darla. Wait, did I click? Oh, I didn't click it. Darla Ackerman, Rick, and J Mac.
J Mac. J Mac, it was great meeting you this weekend. Had a great time. So excited to finally see you face to face. Um,
Oh, we have a super chat. Curtis Ackerman. Here is a super chat to put towards a Jeremy DeWitt theme song. Also to Kevin, hi, honey. I love that idea.
so, Curtis, I talked to Jeremy this weekend and we're supposed to get together. But when he does the theme song, like, I don't know how to put video to it. So, yeah, not real sure how that's
Just
gonna
the
go.
little stick people standing there.
So, oh, my wife is going to kill me. We're going to throw in a $5 discount on the theme song from all. Thank you so much.
Super sweet.
oh, oh, that's funny. Okay. Um,
Oh, Curtis can help with that.
thank you, Curtis.
Bless your heart.
All right. So, you guys all know we have been promoting it for 2 weeks. I had the best time at Muskecon and was able to see some of our great friends, and we have asked if Pete would come on and talk to us about Muskecon. So if you guys will welcome Pete. Hello, Mr. McCarthy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing fantastic. Um, Thank you, number one, for taking time out of your evening to join us. It is nice to have you on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, I just read that. My wife is going to kill me. Curtis just gave a $4.99 towards the theme song, and will charge you $9.99 to help with the video aspect. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Okay, Schmerber and G, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so great. Um, so Pete, we had fun at Muskecon, right?
Yeah. I've never had a bad time at a con. Realistically, like it's because it's always a good time. This show obviously is the most stressful typically for me, just because I'm on kind of the other side. I'm the promotion side and running around and trying to put out spot fires and and it's funny the little things that come up during a show. Like I literally am sitting there 7 a.m. and doors are open for vendors. Guy walks in and he goes, "Hey, I'm here to check in." I said, "Okay, what's your name?" and he told me, and I didn't know his name. I didn't recognize his name, and I've been through that vendor list. I mean, I know the vendors, and I said, "Well, what's your booth name?" He goes, "Well, I don't have one." And I'm going, okay. Immediately, I'm like, I made a mistake. He emailed, he did something, and I missed him. So I pull up the map on my laptop and I'm looking, and I'm like, did you fill out a registration form? He goes, yeah. I said, okay, do you have it? So he pulls it up and he goes, yeah, Wyoming, Michigan. And he looks at me. He had signed up for the Grand Rapids Toy Show in Wyoming,
Oh my god.
and he showed up to Muskecon. And I'm like, so this dude like packs his vehicle, packs up his wife, packs his vehicle with all of his stuff for his booth, shows up to the wrong show, and was already paid Grand Rapids and what have you. And I'm like, I got an open booth, man. You want it? Oh, that'd be great. So I gave him a booth, and now I got a Mesquite. Now he's coming back next year. He had a great time and sold really well. And so I'm like, oops. Well, but it's those little things like you don't necessarily expect to come up with, and but no, I have a great time, and I'm surrounded by so many great people. And Friday night is always a blast. Vendor load in. Once that part starts, everything's set up, and then you start to build the booths, and you go, okay, people are here, things are getting set up, and then you get to have a little bit of fun at the meetup, and have a couple of beverages, and then Saturday rolls, and about 9:30 the line starts to form, and at that point I can finally take a breath. Okay, some people showed up, we're okay, and then it was steady all day. So after that it's all smiles, but it's just kind of that up and down of, are people going to walk through that door, because it's kind of imperative that they do. So
Right. Yeah. Well, I will say that the line for the Four Horsemen started at 5:45.
yeah,
That was me.
yeah, you people are nuts. um and there had to have been, oh, 70 people in that line, 65
Yeah.
people in that line. It was significant, and significantly larger than it was last year. We did the same thing, and for those of you that weren't able to attend, shame on you, losers. But so we have two separate lines. There's a line to get into the con, and we have a separate door, a separate entrance to get in, where you can start right at the Horseman line. And of course, they had um, the legendary barbarian, and we knew it was going to be limited supply. They limited it to one per customer, not one per customer per trip, one per customer period. um, and people were not messing around. They were going to get their hands on that legendary barbarian, and they did. Not everybody got one, which is a bummer, but we were real close.
Yeah.
And it's such a tough thing. I don't envy the horsemen having to try to figure out how many to send where. I mean, there's a lot of shows, and Muskecon is a small fish in a really big pond. Um,
Right.
so the fact that they even do as much as they do has always been amazing to me. Um, and so yeah, it was super cool. It takes a few days almost to kind of come down from all of that. I was back in the office on Monday, and I'm supposed to actually be in Louisiana right now for a work trip, and it got canceled on Monday. So that was nice, because I was only going to be back for 2 days, and then gone for 3. So I've actually been able to play a little bit of catch up, and kind of get my head wrapped around everything. And I got to make my tattoo appointment yesterday, because I had to cancel that because I had to fly to Louisiana, and then he still had it available. So I got to go
Oh,
to the link
awesome.
therapy yesterday, and so yeah, it's been a good week.
Good. All right. Well, let's talk some news first, and then we are going to deep dive into Muskecon, because we have some pictures and we have some stuff, and I'm real excited to talk about it. Of course, this was our first trip, so we had the best time, and it will be on the list of to go to, because we need to be
Perfect.
there, because it is awesome. All right. So first of all, let's talk. Um, okay, let's talk dragon. Dragon
Was not at the show.
was not at the show,
Um,
but
yes,
pieces and parts of it that have never been seen before were at the show.
and that's a great example of the horseman. Um, I never expected the dragon to be there. Like that was, I mean, I understand what it takes to get this thing around the country, right?
Right.
And when they told me, hey, we're planning on trying to do something, last year at the Mythical Meetup, the Friday night before Muskecon, they did a presentation. They unveiled some pages of the first 10 years book, which was super cool. First time anybody had seen them. So this year, they actually brought head claw of the dragon just to hold it in your hand and actually see the scale of it. And then they brought the dragon knight as well, which is just a work of art. So people were able to see that firsthand. Some of us were able to hold it. I was not the normies. The normies couldn't touch it, but I was able to hold it because I'm a big deal. Um, and it was super cool, for people to be able to see that and not only be able to see it, but as they're standing there looking at it, they're talking to Jeremy Gerard about it. You know, Jim Jim Preziosi is walking around talking to people about the dragon and just rubbing elbows with everybody. Brad Treadaway was there. He's those of you that don't know, he's kind of joined the team in the last year, and he's doing audio visual stuff for them. And he did some interviews with us in our studio the night before, so we got to hang out. I got lunch with them when they came in on Thursday. He did some interviews, actually at Muskecon in a little off to the side private room. And but to be able to talk to people about the dragon, and like I said, it wasn't like it was just a show. There was that show and tell aspect because they had the horsemen right there. So if you wanted to get in their face about shipping prices, if you wanted to get in their face about them not, shipping overseas and how they should get a retail partner and how they should do all of these things, you could tell them right to their face, which is an amazing opportunity instead of hiding behind the cabal. But yeah, I just the and what's cool and what's really cool for me too is those guys are so complimentary. Like you know they enjoy coming to Muskecon, and for them, yes, it is work, but they're letting their hair down. They're not getting their butts kicked in the booth, and they're not, yeah, they're helping restock the shelves and stuff, but ultimately the street team is handling that whole table for them, and they get to just kind of be fans and be friends. And that's some of the big compliments I got from the horsemen. They just come and enjoy hanging out with everybody, and it's pretty low pressure for them, which Jeremy and I were laughing because that's what Legion's Con is for me. I get to go out there and he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off because he's planning an event and a live convention, and he's got his own booth full of customs and. So I kind of get to see him in that moment. And then he flies out, and then he laughs at me during my moments, and it's super cool.
That is cool. You guys actually, that's something cool that you guys do share. Now, scale on this one, this weekend we were able to see, and if you've been on Legion's Ladies live on YouTube, then you've seen the image of Jeremy with the dragon in his palm, and then the dragon head stretched out, most of his arm, which is really cool. But excuse me, but having that there, you could actually see scale. Like you could see how big that head was. You could see how big the feet was. Brad, who Pete was just talking about, took some pictures for scale, which is amazing.
I actually just, Amber, on your Facebook Messenger, I just sent you a great picture that shows really good scale. I think it'd be awesome for the viewers if you could put it up on the screen. Gives all of the fans kind of a good indication as to the scale of the knight figures specifically.
All right.
So we have this one with the Castle Grayskull, and then this one.
That's so good. The Joe helicopter, I love it.
Yeah, with this helicopter. I mean, the tail. I mean, it is unreal. And then we have this one with the his tank.
This tank.
Which is crazy. And then this one is one of my favorites. It has the foot crushing a a night, which is shows you just how big it is. It's really crazy.
Ugh.
And then just the detail. And when
Amazing.
you actually
Absolutely amazing.
get to take a picture and you see that detail, I mean, that is
Beautiful.
crazy how good it is. And then again, your paint detail. I mean, Sherry painted, I can't even tell you how many colors are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, how many colors are in this dragon is unreal. Um, and the detail that you see there really, again, unreal. All right, and then we have
Ooh.
the head and wings. Again, the detail in the paint. I just cannot wait to get this. Like, I cannot wait to have this in hand. The wings are finally funded. Woohoo! Nobody
You
else
know,
is excited as I am about that.
what's super funny is watching all the comments, like I've been known to do. Um, I I had a sneaky suspicion this was going to take the longest because there were so many people that were up in the air about the price and up in there, about the space itself that was going to take to display it. I could see this taking a little bit longer because this was something people might pass on because they're like, if they're already worried about space, having the full wing spread obviously is going to make that much more difficult. So I wasn't surprised to see this one go last. We all knew it was going to fund, but
Right.
I wasn't surprised to see it. I wasn't surprised for that people would go, you know what, save 150 and you know what I mean, I can do without that. If they were going to make any sacrifices, it was going to be the wings over the fire in my personal opinion. So
Right. Yeah. Um, but it was, I mean, it is gorgeous. It is amazing. I didn't have really any doubts that it was going to fund, but it sure took long enough to get there. And then, of course, we also today got this entire set unlocked.
that is so good.
So all of his extras and stuff are there. So I am more than excited to have that unlocked. And then today, Jeremy said we are 88% of the way to the 2,500 that we need to get all of Benegar's stuff. So we have Benegar, but we don't have all of his stuff. So we're 88% of the way to get that. Fiery Breath, everything is unlocked. And Epic Wings, we are 84% of the stretch goals. So 1250 to get everything with those unlocked, and we are 84% of that. So, and I don't know about you, Pete, and Amber as well, but when we were sitting in that room on Friday night and Jeremy introduced the 4,000 stretch goal. Now, we don't have pictures, I know, but come on.
Right. Yeah.
We all want that Baethyr's Fury.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So we're 80, let's see, 88% of getting all of this. Come
That
on.
that shield is just absolutely incredible.
It
I
really
mean
is. It is
and the whole
absolutely.
figure is, but the and the other one of the other cool things too is it's they've already come out and said, hey, by the way, this helmet, never again. These pauldrons, never again. Like this really is going to be your only opportunity. I'm outside the secondary market. There'll be, I won't say there's going to be plenty available in the secondary market, but they will be available, and if you're willing to pay for them. Um, the question that I have, and this is for both of you, uh, so you're both married to collectors. Are you getting your own dragon? Or are you guys gonna do the? Are you guys gonna share the dragon?
We're
So
gonna share. We were gonna get two, but then we realized where are we gonna put two?
Amber's like one on Ryan's side of the bed, and then he can put his wherever. So, um, and and luckily
so
you guys are
Kevin's
not in.
gonna share with me.
Well, that's very nice of him. So,
Sorry, baby. I know. Sorry.
you,
I love you.
we do obviously in in this world. And my wife's not in this world. My wife only collects amazing husbands. She picked one up about 22 years ago, and what do you need two of those for, right?
Right.
And
Mm.
so I we discuss, we like most couples, we discuss finances. I mean, money is one of those things that we all know can be difficult in a relationship. And um so I like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna pre-order this wave of Super 7 turtles. It's 229 or whatever, and kind of just heads up. Like, this one was like, hey honey, this is what I want to buy. This is what it, and it wasn't like I wasn't looking for permission, you know what I mean? But I was
Right.
looking for, like, the, like, hey, I get it, like, you know what I mean? And it was funny because I was telling her, I'm like, this is a legit opportunity. Like, this is not something that's going to come around again, because if I'm going, I don't know if I want to spend $1,000 right now. I sure as hell don't want to spend 2,000, you know,
Yeah.
6 months after this thing comes out. So, but yeah, it was just kind of funny because she kind of looked at me like, "Are you seriously asking me like if I'm okay with you buying this toy?" And I was like, "Well, it's pretty expensive." And then she kind of perked up like, "Okay, if he says it's pretty expensive and he's talking to me about it, that piqued your curiosity as to what does pretty expensive mean, you know?" Um, and I totally didn't tell her about shipping, so she can find out about that on her own. But so, Art by Ackerman. So Curtis, by the way, Rob Zamoris got me rolling over here. But Art by Ackerman. I don't think Banther will fit in a Myers grocery bag. So first off, Art by Ackerman, it's a Meyer. There's no S. It's not plural. Okay. Get your, I'm not on my podcast. Be nice. um Curtis, I'm gonna text you what I was gonna say because I won't say it on Legions, ladies. Um but
Thank you.
I'm learning, right? I
You're doing good.
But and I had the same question too, because you're welcoming everybody and you welcome Curtis and then you welcome Darla, and I'm like, aren't they sitting like in the same room? You know what I mean? Like, they got their backs to each other and they're like they're commenting like to each other. It's like, just turn around and talk to them, man. It's weird. It's weird. So,
So Kevin and I, so Kevin has his account on the TV. So anytime we're watching a show, we're watching it together on the TV. But Kevin will comment from his account, and I will log in on my phone and comment from my account.
We do that too, and then we watch it in silence on our phone, but we watch it on the
We
TV.
watch the
right.
TV.
Well, and I totally freaked out when you guys first came on. I'm sitting here and I'm like, and the audio was absolutely jacked. And it's like it's all echo and it's all duplicated. I'm going, oh my god, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I have the YouTube up on my secondary screen and it was just playing the delay. So all I had to do was mute the YouTube because I'm a moron. But I was like, oh my gosh, it's all falling apart already. They haven't even brought me on yet. And so, but I and I got my because I get a little chilly.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
my retro rags
We
comfy
just got
blanket.
one too.
So, oh, they're
That
so
is so
nice.
awesome.
So if you guys dig these, he's got Cosmic Cabal as well. Retro Rags Unlimited. Motu Joe will hook you guys up. So super
So
super
They're
comfy.
so
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 cozy.
let's show your comparison picture because I think it's
oh yeah, so this is a great picture for scale, for
yeah.
the Sir Benegar. Um, oh, and yeah, that's also me with the horseman just hanging out, you know. So I didn't want to showcase that. It was just about, about the figure, of course. But yeah, so you can see it scaled. Uh, the shield in my hand, and so you
Yeah.
can see in comparison to my hand how big it is. And yeah, so be jealous. You're welcome.
Yeah. I am quite jealous that you got to actually hold it in your hand. That's awesome. Um, yeah. Wanted
Ooh,
to show
Curtis
real
has
quick
the
before.
Sherpa one of those
Oh wow. Yeah.
blankets.
I bet that's warm.
Ooh.
All right. Want to show real quick. Tomorrow, Kevin and I leave for Toylanta. Didn't
And
we just get back from?
how far away is that? That's got to be a hell of a lot closer than Muskegon.
It's a lot closer. We are what 4.5 hours, I think, away from Toylanta. So
Okay.
we're headed to Toylanta this weekend. Not quite as much of a drive. Of course, you can pick up the Barbarian Builder. I believe it's one per person per day, I think is what they said. Um, and of course, you've got 3 days of the con. You've got Friday night, you got Saturday, and then you have Sunday as well. Also, if you're going Sunday at 12:30, the Four Horsemen are doing a panel with Big Dub.
Cool.
So Sunday at 12:30, the Four Horsemen are doing a panel. And then, of course, the ATL 25 will be there and available to pick up from Toylanta, not from the Four Horsemen booth. And of course, the extras, the specials that you get by getting it at the con is the ATL 25 shield, the helmet head, and then the weapon. So excited to pick that up.
I'm glad that you're excited, but I do want to point out that there's a reason it's themed that way in Atlanta. He's essentially wearing riot gear, and that's an indication of where you're going. So
so,
I just want to put that out there real quick. So be
so
careful.
just to make sure everybody know, it's not in Atlanta proper. It
Will
is
you
actually technically in Duluth.
will you tell everybody the address, Tanya?
The address for Toylanta?
Yep.
Yes, hang on. It's right here. Or is this the address for my hotel? 6400 Sugarloaf Parkway.
I just wanted to hear that southern voice say Sugarloaf. It's the only reason I asked. So
6400 Sugarloaf Parkway.
I could see Amber calling Ryan Sugarloaf. Like that's Ryan's pet name. Like, hey, are you gonna come watch the Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast, Sugarloaf? Like, and he just kind of comes over and sits next to you underneath your Mythic Legions blanket. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be
Ryan figured out real quick that I've always hugged Ryan a little bit too long, and he doesn't balk it. He recognizes. So, but
that would be, hey sugar. I'll never put the loaf behind it, but it's hey sugar.
I am never calling Ryan anything but Sugarloaf for the rest of my life.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That's funny. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's go back a little ways. This past Muskecon was number 7.
yes.
So you had 7 Muskecons so far. Why did you begin? I mean, what made you decide to do the first one?
Because I didn't want anybody else to do it. And that's the honest answer. So I started doing these shows with Travis from the What's Gonna Kill Me podcast. He's been a long time friend, a fellow public safety member, and he collects toys. And I didn't think much of that in the moment because I didn't understand what he meant when he was saying that. But he was reading comics, and he says, He goes, "Hey man," he goes, "You have some comics I think you'd like to read." And I'm a huge reader, a very avid reader of novels, and I have been for years and years. Um, and he's like, I'm like, I not really been my thing, but I mean, I'll try it or whatever. So he in attempting to give me something he thought I would enjoy, but not swing so hard kind of into superheroes and that stuff. I started with Garth Ennis's run on the Punisher Max, which is an absolutely brilliant run. And then he gave me the boys, and then I started to like question like, hey, has anybody checked on Garth Ennis lately? Like there might be something wrong with him. Really enjoyed that, and then it just snowballed from there. Started reading comics, and then uh, hey, you want to go to this toy show? Sure. And then I was like, oh, vintage Ninja Turtles and GI Joe and Mask, and then I went, and then I just fell. I fell hard, and so we're doing these shows and we're traveling around, and so when you look at the mitten of Michigan, you've all of the geographical areas in which would make sense to have a convention were taken. So Lansing, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, Detroit, Traverse City, and Muskegon realistically was kind of like the next city on the list. And so take a step back, go 1 year backward. We're sitting around the campground drinking beers, and hey, we should start a podcast. So we sat there at the picnic table and ordered podcast stuff off of Amazon, and then
Oh
recorded
my
our first
gosh.
episode that following weekend. Um,
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
I was like, hey, we did the podcast last camping trip. I'm going to start a toy and comic show this camping trip. And they all laughed at me. And then 7 months later, we had our first con. Um, and again, I knew somebody was going to do it in Muskegon if I didn't, so I did. And we had the first year we had about 5,000 square feet. We were in the so Tanya, well, Amber, you were at the Mythic Meetup last year, right? No,
No, I mean this
are you
was the
sure?
first year. This
This was
is
your first year, Tanya, but you guys were up for Muskecon the year before, weren't you?
No, we've never been.
Damn it. I could have swore. All right. Anyways, so Tanya, where we were at in for the Mythic Meetup, if
Mhm.
you open that wall, you can double the size of that room. That was the first Muskecon, about 5,000 square feet.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
I open up vendors and I'm full. And I went, crap. Okay. So I had vendors in the hallway and I was turning vendors away that first year. I think I turned away like 15 or 16 vendors.
Oh
So
wow.
the show went really well. The next year, year two, I think I turned away 25 vendors. I had, of all my vendors, I only had two that didn't return, and one, like, because like her husband died. Like, I mean, like legit
Oh,
reasons not to come
yeah.
back, Year three, it just kind of kept growing. Well, year five was the best ever. It was amazing. And then COVID hit. So we took a year off, came back, and things were good. And we scaled back after COVID. No cosplay contest, no panels, like just basically a show because I was trying to rebuild and try to figure out if people were actually going to show up, and they did. So then um, they built the new convention center. So then we went from 5,000 square feet in a hallway to 15,000 square feet, and I filled that. And I'm still turning vendors away.
Wow.
So we brought cosplay back this year and a kind of a small scale. Next year, if everything goes well, next year it will be the vendor hall that we have now, the new convention center, and the old area. And we'll have vendors between the two in that hallway and make it one large event because I need the space. And then downstairs, there's a big room. Um, Downstairs, that's what happens when you talk with your hands. Siri
Yeah.
constantly thinks you're trying to do stupid. Yeah. So, or it's judging, or she's judging me. Like,
Judging you.
hey, you can stand up. There's still time. Shut up, Siri. I don't want to stand up.
All the time.
You can still reach your walk goal. I'm like, I'm laying here. Leave me alone. Um, and and then so downstairs from the convention center, there's a big room that I want to do panels in next year. So I'm hoping next year we'll be kind of fully back to full blown. Um, but we'll see. And I brought on Jeremy DeWitt a few weeks ago officially as a partner because it was just getting to be too much for one person. Let me rephrase that. It was too much for one person about 6 years ago, but I just kept doing it on my own anyways. So yeah, that's going to be very, very cool. Um, but yeah, it literally was just a whim. Hey, let's try this. And like I said, now here we are. I mean, we had over 2,000 attendees on Saturday, so
Yeah.
it was a good day. So
So, would there possibly be a time period when you would go to 2 days?
that is a very interesting question. And I have numerous vendors that would love for me to go to a 2 day show. And I go, that sounds great. Are you willing to pay double the booth fee?
Right.
Well, whoa, 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 wait a minute. What? Um, because it costs me twice as much to rent the venue for 2 days. So you want more time to make more money, but you don't want to pay anymore.
Right.
And then they kind of realize that they're dumb.
Yeah.
So to be completely honest with you, I don't think we have the running room to be a 2 day show.
Gotcha.
So when I imagine a true 2 day show, a successful 2 day show, it's big enough to where it takes more time to walk through it.
Hmm.
So or you have things going on that cause people to not be able to spend time in the vendor hall, so they want to come back, i.e., they caught a bunch of panels and didn't get to get all the way through the vendor hall, or they waited in line for an autograph for 5 hours. And so I think there's other components that you need to bring in to truly make a 2 day show worth it.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Do I think there's potential for it? I absolutely do. Do I think that 2026 is going to be the year? I do not think that at this time.
Right.
Um, the one thing that there's another thing that's been mentioned to me, and it's just sitting in the back of my brain of basically doing Muskecon on Saturday and then doing the mythical meetup a little bit more in the honor of Legions Con for like 10 to 3 on Sunday on a smaller scale, and doing all and kind of making it all mythic related. um but that was just something that somebody threw at me, and it's back there. It's
Gotcha.
just so yeah, right. It's been very important to me over the years that you try to do things at the right pace.
Yeah.
um if getting too big too soon, I think, is kind of the death of a convention of any type, and it doesn't matter if
Yeah.
it's toys or scrapbooking or whatever. um but I've really tried to make it make sense each year as we get bigger and kind of grow organically. And um so yeah, that's kind of what I can't say that it isn't. It's that, let me rephrase this. I can't say that I should have gone bigger sooner, because what I've done has worked. So I have part of me that goes, hey, it was a good idea to stay small and be small kind of moving forward. I would have liked it. I would love it to be bigger, and I'd love to be able to have stars, and I'd love to be able to do a lot of those things that some of the big cons do. But I'm forever going to be limited by my square footage. I mean, Motor
Right.
City Comic Con has 300,000 square feet.
Right.
I just, I don't know what DeVos is, but it's over 150,000, and we're talking 10 times larger than what I have. Um, so, that's, like I said, I want to keep it small and keep it where it is. And at the end of the day, it really still is a side hustle for me. I have a day job, and that takes a lot of my time, and
Yes.
is relatively important to some folks. So I am limited in what I can do, which, and that's where a big part of where Jeremy's coming in as well, to kind of help out with that stuff. Um, and he's absolutely amazing, and he has been itching me for like 20 minutes.
Oh,
And he has some time that he's willing to dedicate to the event. And I need to bring some consistency to the ad and marketing side and whatnot. And he's going to be able to do all that for me, because that's another thing that we in years past, we had a merch table where you could like buy a Muskecon shirt or hat, and I'd love to bring that back.
yeah.
So like I said, there's a few things. We did a few years where we did custom Muskecon dice, commemorative dice. I'd like to. So a vendor did that this year, but I'd like to bring that back on a little bit larger scale. And so, like I said, baby steps, and we'll kind of see where we end up.
That's awesome. So, um, Kevin and I's first time this year, and we debated on going to ZoloCon or going to Muskecon. And ZoloCon is much bigger, like much bigger. And um, I think we were just thinking, number one, we'd never been to Michigan. It's not one of those states you just pass through.
Mm-mm.
If you're not going to Michigan, you're not going to Michigan.
Right. Yep. You're exactly right.
So visiting a new state that we haven't been in, and then just it's a smaller. It was on a smaller scale, so we just kind of wanted to check it out and see what was going on, and it was amazing. I mean, the the time that you got to spend with your friends, the legions amount of people from the legions community who come. I mean, it's fantastic. It was just
There's
awesome.
definitely an intimacy to that,
Yeah.
that that you don't always get. And and the funny part too is there's a lot of people that the Legions Con is the bar, and when it comes to Legions events, I mean that's unmistakable. And so many people want to try and kind of group cons together, and there's nothing like Legions Con. Legions Con is one of those people go to Comic Cons all over the country, and they go in and they walk around, they do what they want to do, and then they leave. That's what a con is. That's not what Legion's Con is.
Mm.
Legion's Con, you walk in the morning and you hang out until they close the doors. It's just it's a different vibe, and
Right.
that's one of the things that I was very open and honest about, because people traveled from all over to come to my little show in Muskegon, which was amazing. But I tried to make it abundantly. Oh, hey, everybody's like, it's like a mini Legion's Con. I I love that comparison, and that's a huge compliment. But if you show up to Muskecon expecting it to be Legion's Con, you are going to be sorely disappointed. Now, there might be, you'll probably have fun. There'll be plenty to do. But if you're measuring my show to Legion's Con, it's Legion's Con and then everything else. That's
Right.
just how it is.
Yeah.
But for the people that the biggest thing that I kind of push is, if you can't get to New Jersey, whether it's too far away, you've got an ex that lives there, you still have an outstanding warrant, whatever the reason is that you can't go to New Jersey. um, if you want an opportunity to walk up and shake the hand of a horseman and have a conversation with them, you can do that at Muskecon. And that's always been super cool for me, of again being able to do that. And there's a lot of people that they don't have a place where they can just go and buy Mythic Legions action figures. You can do that at Muskecon. And I the the so we had basically what we kind of called Legion's Row at one end of Muskecon. So NCAP started with Carver Customs, Brian and Stacy, magnificent, right? Charbot 2.0 giveaways, the torches, the custom arm from Muskecon, absolutely great. Next to them, of course, Dusty and Ange Stanford, Dang Studios, which, by the way, little known fact, Dang from Dang Studios is D for Dusty and ANG for Ange. Dang. So I learned that little nugget. And then you make the corner, of course, the coloring books, toys, all that stuff.
Right.
Make the corner, boom, Drunk Gizmo Customs. Alexander Deshaw and his lady Katie, son Blake, they're doing all those amazing fountains and tables and all the stuff for diorama. You kind of keep moving down that line. Now you got a double pack of Wolf King Customs. Well, it's not just Wolf King Customs, because it's a triple threat of Wolf King Customs representation, because you've got Jesse Arnold, you got Stephen Bisciotti, you got Curtis Ackerman, right? So,
Right.
based on number of people, there's 3 people in that booth. Based on weight, there's 5.5. That's a big deal booth, right? So all of the stuff that Wolf King Customs provides, which they also sponsor the Mythical Meetup. This year, 2 heads sculpted by Steve Bisciotti, a Jin head for the full-on genie, and then the Steve O'Beg head as well. We just gave them away. Like Len prints all of those, packages them, and they're just giveaways. We had 32 packs of those to give away. We gave away sculpts that Steven did last year of skulls, just gave them away. But on top of all that great Wolf King custom stuff, you had Curtis Ackerman's stuff in Darla's capes. You had Jesse's customs. You had Steven's customs all mixed into that. Now you keep moving down the line. Now you hit the Horseman table. That's a triple table, and it's just stacked with Mythic Legions figures. Poxus Wave is there. Legendary Barbarian is there. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful sculpt done by Stephen Bisciotti, printed by Wolf King Customs. And like I said, Len from Wolf King Customs just ships those. Hey, here you go. And all that I do is say, hey, it's sponsored by Wolf King Customs. Um, and he won't even let me pay for him. The guy's just amazing, right? So you got the Horseman table. Well, then at the end of the Horseman table, you've got retro rags and mock collectors. So you get all of your Mythic Legions accessory, you get it's all your keychains, your mugs, your blankets, all that stuff that is licensed from the Horseman. So that's a big deal. There was a ton of cool stuff kind of on that end. Well, I go back there and I hide when I need a minute. So I had 3 strategic chairs set up. I had one in the Horseman booth. I had one in Jeremy DeWitt's booth because he's on the other side of Retro Rags. And then I had one back behind Dang Studios where I could sit, I could hit my vaporizer, I could talk about somebody who came into the show that pissed me off to people that didn't matter that um, and I'm sitting back there and I'm kind of doing my thing. I'm wrapping my head around stuff. And Travis is like, all right, 750. The guy swipes his card and walks away with and I'm like, and it hit me. I'm like, that guy just spent $750 on Mythic Legions action figures. And again, an opportunity of, hey, I can buy them off the table. I don't have to. It's not a pre-order that I've got to pay for and wait. It's not I got to set my alarm and get up for an in-stock sale. I can walk in, go, I like this one, hold it in my hand, pay for it, and walk out. That's a cool opportunity for a lot of people. And again, it's super cool that you can do that here in Little Old Muskegon. So that is, like I said, the secret sauce of what Muskecon is always going to be the people. And my family was out in force. They run the whole front end of that show. My wife did not leave the admission booth all day. My oldest daughter was in there the majority of the day. My middle daughter, she showed up. She had to work. She had a new job, which is super cool. She had to work, so she came in and then went underneath the table and slept for about an hour and then woke up and then went to her other job. So she was super helpful. But even my 10-year-old daughter, she was swiping cards and doing the stuff on the iPad, and so it was awesome. And again, Muskecon has always been pitched as a family event, and then you show up to get in, and it's my whole family that's there, including a cousin and a husband, and 2 nieces and a brother-in-law and a sister-in-law, and we just kind of all made it happen, and that's super fun for me because I don't have time to sit there and take people's cards and put wristbands on because I'm doing so many other things, like for instance, hiding in the Four Horsemen booth and complaining about people. But yeah, so it's like I said, if you can't make it all the way to New Jersey or you can't make it out to the West Coast, and you can drive 6 hours to come to Muskecon, it'll definitely be a worthwhile trip. And one of the things that I've always wanted with Muskecon is I want a husband and wife, or a husband and husband, or a wife and wife. We don't judge. Everybody's having a good time. A couple to come in and bring their kids. Let's say, using dad as an example, dad's on the hunt for a comic book. He's on the hunt for a classic GI Joe. He's dragging his wife and kids along that don't care about his hobby. Well, guess what? Get in there and mom finds this awesome Hocus Pocus purse that somebody handmade, and that's her favorite Halloween movie of all time. And then you go 2 more booths and there's all these cool rainbow axolotls that are 3D printed that the kids pick up and they want to get. There really is something for everybody, and that's what kind of Muskecon kind of prides itself on, is if if you come with a group of people, everybody's going to find at least something that interests them in one way, shape, or another. And maybe it's just looking at somebody's art. Maybe you don't buy anything, but maybe you're like, wow, this is really cool. Um, and yeah, and that's like I said, that's kind of the secret sauce of all of it, is it being family, and the intimacy is a big deal. for us, especially that the night before at the meetup, and being able to all hang out together and laugh and joke and eat pretzels. And like I said, a lot of people walked out with prizes that night. And we gave away a ton of cool figures and a ton of cool parts and pieces and charbots and sculptures and fountains and coloring books, and all these vendors that just literally said, "Hey Pete, give this away." And we just, I mean, it took us 45 minutes, I think, to get through the pile of stuff that we were able to give away. It was super cool. So yeah, and like I said, that's just what we want to keep doing. We want to keep kind of creating that vibe. And like I said, if you want an opportunity to see something like that with the horsemen and you can't drive across the country, come on out. Or maybe you do go to Legions Con and you're from the Midwest and you're like, I just need a fix, I can't wait 12 months. Cruise in here and we'll like I said, we'll put it right in here for you and get you through till November. So
Absolutely. It was like a fix. It's getting around all of your friends and and um just hanging out and having a good time. And real low key, real intimate, real just a lot of fun. We have a
Curtis,
couple of
Curtis
yeah,
brought up
we
real quick the hotel restaurant Saturday night being the place to be. Show's done, everybody's doing their thing, change clothes, freshen up, and we took the entire bottom half of the restaurant. There was, I think, 10 tables full of us. And what's great about that is you get up and you can float and you can go over to and it's good food. It's a little on the pricey side because it's higher end for
right.
Muskegon, whatever. But like I said, you can have a drink and then you just hang out. And they give us that whole bottom of the restaurant, which is super cool,
It
to
is.
be able to kind of download for after the long day. And I couldn't believe how many people stayed for that. And so many people actually came in and stayed the night, either Friday or Saturday or both. They made it a weekend. And when you do that, we'll provide enough social time to make the weekend worth it.
Yeah.
You can come on Friday and have something to do. And even if there's not a big thing going on Friday night, there's so many great places within walking distance. And then we all come back to the hotel lobby and have our drinks and do that. And so there's definitely something to fill that time.
Yeah, the town of Muskegon. I mean, all the different little restaurants, all the things that you could do there. I mean, they were so cute. I mean, it was just a really quaint town. We've not been to Michigan, and so it was our first time. And just going out Friday night and going to a restaurant and eating, down on that little main street or whatever where we
Yep.
were staying. Um, the coolest restaurant has the little the window so you can look in at the hockey game.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, what a cool idea. What a great restaurant where you can just look in and see what's going on. I mean, nothing was going on that night, but
Right.
that you have that ability to just look in and see what I was like, this is the coolest freaking restaurant ever. Give you that opportunity to see that. I don't know. And then I will say that I would have liked to have tried the barbecue place, but it was packed full when we went.
It
Um,
always is.
of course, being from North Carolina,
Right.
we like our barbecue.
Right. Yeah. Dr. Rolf's is hugely popular. That's actually where we went for lunch. The Horseman and I went for lunch there, and I met him for a little while. I actually, ironically, they came in on Thursday, and I had two meetings in Muskegon, and my second meeting was only a few blocks from there because it was at Central Dispatch, which is at the end of, so that main drag of Western, it's called Western Avenue. That main drag, if you go all the way to the one end is the farmers market, and then there's Muskegon Fire 23, Station 23 is there, and
Uh-huh.
upstairs of that is the county's entire dispatch system.
Oh
So
wow.
I had a meeting there, and I had an hour to kill, and I messaged them like, "Yeah, we're at Dr. Rolf." So I went over and sat with them and had a nice tea while they had lunch and just chatted, and it worked out really well. But yeah, that's the you try to get there on a Friday or Saturday night, and you're going to be in trouble
Yeah,
because that's the only complaint about that downtown is it is a busy, busy, busy
it
downtown.
is.
But what's great too
That's
is the
great.
weather gets nicer. It's that's all one huge social district.
Yeah,
So
I
you can
bet.
get your beverage and you can just walk out to the sidewalk and take it to the next place, as long as
Yeah,
it's in the right kind of cup. And
right.
they've really done a lot for the downtown.
Yeah, Muskegon downtown, that little downtown area was fantastic. And I would imagine in the summertime, I mean, just go down there and hang out with your friends. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it
is
gets
a
to happen.
great meetup place. Yeah, I can't. I would imagine it would be amazing.
Well,
Wanted to bring up a couple of things. So we have want to share some pictures. So I went onto Facebook and we had several of our friends post pictures to Facebook from Muskegon, and few of mine mixed in, but I made sure that everybody was okay if I was sharing their picture. So several different people, and I just wanted to show you, but like all the different tables that you guys had in there. You see down there on the right hand side is the beginning of the table for the pretzels. What a great little thing that you guys did there. I mean, all the different types of pretzels, the little cheese and mustard that goes on. I mean, it's just really, really great options that you guys did there.
yeah, and when we did it last year, it was kind of like one of those things where it was gonna be a little bit later, so it was like, well, it's not really a dinner thing, and of course, obviously to try to do a dinner would be very, very difficult, and
Right.
the hotel offers that little pretzel bar, and it was a great little snack option. So especially like people that were coming in that needed something that or maybe they already had dinner, they want a little snack, or they just wanted to try to because there's a cash bar in this room as well. Maybe
Right.
they just wanted to have a little fuel in there for the alcohol. But yeah, it worked. That worked out really, really well. So last year we planned for 50. This year we planned for 75, and gone in the first hour. So and there was 100 badges, and there was only I think 11 badges that didn't get taken. So we had pert near 90 people that eventually showed up. Steven actually came down to me in the vendor hall because this opened up at 7. The vendor hall closes at 8. So 7 to 8 was like just a cocktail hour, hangout, meet and greet. Then we started the kind of events, if you will, at 8 o'clock. He came down to me at 7:30. He was like, dude, we're out of chairs. Like, what do you mean we're out of chairs? I didn't, that wasn't something that I had contemplated in my head that they were going to be out of chairs. But so this is a great picture. Right there in the dead center of this group of people is Jim from the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Um, sitting at the table just hanging out chatting with all of us normies, and so in the green hoodie here, I'm pointing like an idiot. See what I'm talking about, guys? um the green hoodie there, that's Blake. That is Drunk Gizmo's son, and he got his first uh and then his second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth Glyos at this event. And I was a like a crack dealer, just getting him all fired up, and he kept walking by and going, look what my dad just got me. And Alex is like just standing over there, I yada. And that was super fun. And then a last minute addition, Brandon Barker from Manor Monster Studios, and who does Warlords of War setup, and donated some Glyos to the event, and Blake actually won them. I was like, how cool is that? So
Yeah.
uh,
So he won them and then started playing with them. And therein opens up the crack dealer that you
oh
come
yeah,
in.
yep,
Are these cool?
yep,
All different kinds of pretzels.
yep. And that right there is the reason there wasn't any left when I got there, because of Fatty Jeremy. So yeah.
oh. Oh, that's so fun. And then just to be able to see them that close up, it was just amazing. And
Alex
this
from
was
Drunk Gizmo, and that's we
Maverick.
call him, yeah, that we call him AI because he's a robot. Beep boop.
Yeah.
Beep, boop.
But,
The this is the first time that the Fiery Knight and Sir Benegar have been seen, period, in person, not as a photo. So it's pretty special to be able to have that opportunity to see them up close in person. And I'm telling you, that Fiery Knight is unreal.
what I need now is we need to get that in hand so then we can make a custom Pete screwed up at his day job figure. Like, oh, things went south for firefighter Pete, and now he's on fire. So
All right. Who is doing the print of Pete's head to go on that figure?
it's gonna be Anthony Houseel. You mark my words. It's gonna be Anthony Houseel from the Toy Forge. So
That's funny.
but
So, and then Saturday morning, we start the line.
yep. So
We
Chris James on the left,
Yep.
hardcore mythics guy, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. It's his second year coming to Muskecon. So much fun. He's at Legion's Con every year. And then of course on the right, on the other side of Tanya, you have Gabriel Barragan. Barragan. It's either Barragan or Barragan. He was the guy that had 3 totes full of Glyos, and my nieces were buying, my daughter was buying, and then he was giving them Glyos,
Oh,
and
wow.
I went by and I was like, hey, put this one aside for me. And I started to make a pile. He handed me a bag and I handed him a stack of cash and I went. I walked out of Muskecon with 36 or 37 Glyos. So it
Wow.
it was bonkers. But yeah, he was feeding the machine in the
Yeah.
Glyos world.
He was. And then of course you have Dirk, and Dirk had some of his stuff set up on the Wolf King customs table as well. Um
He never
and
introduced himself.
oh,
So
did
he
he
came
not?
up, he talked to me, and so then I realized who it is, and I was like, okay, so I'm a jerk because he obviously just assumed I knew who he was, and I probably should have known. But again, I'm a jerk, and I never done. He asked me a question, and I just okay, and I answered the question, and then I realized he's at Wolf King, and I'm like, okay, this guy's somebody, and then I'm like, oh crap. So yeah, if you're watching, Dirk, I apologize. Um, I'm not perfect, but yeah. So,
Oh,
but I'll
yes.
never
If
forget
you're
his name now. So
yeah. And if you're watching Dirk, get back to work. I need my stuff. Sorry, he's doing some stuff for me. He's gonna bring it to Toyland.
very cool.
um all right. And so um we did not, and I don't think we did. Amber, we have a another uh super chat. Yeah.
he's Curtis said, "It's okay, Tanya. You can tell him I convinced you."
Yeah, Curtis, you absolutely kept talking about it, and we had to come see you because whatever. Um, but yeah, he was somebody who talked really talked up Muskecon while we were sitting at the table for Legion's Con. So definitely wanted to head to Muskecon. If we couldn't go this year, then definitely next year. So that was true. You did.
Well,
Um,
and it was super cool because on Friday, when the first time I was able to go out to the Four Horsemen Studios um, for GCon, they kicked everybody out of the studio and moved them down to the big warehouse to watch GCon live on the big screen. Um, we started to move that way, and they were like, "Hey, where are you going?" We're like, "We're going down to watch GCon." I'm like, "No, no, you're in here with us." And I was like, "Well, I shouldn't have been surprised." So they started treating us like royalty. And Jim gave us this amazing tour of the whole warehouse, and we got to do all this stuff and see all the props and all that. And I just always thought that was super neat that they kind of showed us that side of everything and kind of opened up that world. So on Friday, I was able to take uh, Jim and Jeremy and Brad from the Four Horsemen, and Curtis and Nate Strong from Legion's Lounge, and then Maverick Beat Boop, and then the Standifords um, on a tour of my fire station, our central station. And I got to kind of show them, my day job and all that kind of stuff. And it was such a cool, special moment for me to be able to kind of, I don't want to say repay that favor, but kind of like do that for them, they did for us, and kind of opened up that whole thing. And it was a lot of fun. And to be able to kind of share that with all of them was super special. And so, yeah, the another huge part of people getting to come to my area, my hometown, and then after that, Mike Smith, who's one of my best friends, he's also one of my firefighters, um, actually invited everybody to him and his wife's restaurant, the Gnarly Heifer in downtown Whitehall, and everybody went over there for lunch, and
Oh, that's
so
cool.
it was super cool to be able to kind of give him some hometown flavor.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was super jealous we weren't there early enough, or we weren't there to go. I would have loved to have seen what you do and where you work. That's amazing.
Unfortunately, nothing terrible happened to anybody, so I couldn't take them on a call with me. Everybody was super safe while they were there, which totally bummed me out, but
Oh, that's funny. All right, so here we still have the Saturday morning crew, and Wyatt came in late on Friday night and was up early on Saturday morning. I think Joe Russo just about had a heart attack when I posted pictures of Wyatt there with us in the early morning crew. And of course, do we talk enough about Brett Stoddard's photography? I don't think we do, guys. I don't think we do.
And we're not going to talk about it because he refused to hug me. So
well, he just had an accident.
I don't believe you.
He did.
No,
so
no.
I saw him and I ran up to him to give him a big hug like you normally would with Brett Stoddard, right? And he went, ah, and I went, he had just been in a bad car accident. And He was totally bruised. So I was like, I'm so sorry. So I just gave him a nice little ginger fist bump. And then I had to remind myself not to hug him all weekend.
All weekend. So. I know. It's hard because Brett is so huggable and we love hugging on Brett. So it was very, very hard. And then of course you've got Eric Miller was down there with us as well. So we just had a great crew down there early morning on Saturday morning for the line. And then again, more and more and more people showed up for the Horseman line as the morning went on. And
the Schmerberger, man.
Schmerber.
So much fun.
Was there as well. Yeah, it was just, we really did have the best time. Real quick, because we need to start taking hashtags. Pete, you contacted me before we went on and said, hey, do you have a giveaway? And I said, we don't have anything planned. And you said, well, listen, I have, and I'm willing to give away. Make sure I got everything.
Okay. I got it all right here. So, I have a sticker pack of the Furious 4, the amazing art done by David Williams.
Amazing.
So 4-pack of stickers. Oops. And then, of course, to represent the official David Williams fan club sticker. Amazing.
That's awesome.
With art by Jeremy DeWitt on it. So your classic My Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast dumpster fire decal. And and if they're a fan of My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me, which some of your people probably are not, if they're a fan, I'm gonna send this too. If they're not, then I won't worry about it. But the 4-pin set of the 4 hosts of My Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast on the card, all of this art originally done to look like a Nintendo game by Jeremy DeWitt. And then for Muskecon 26, free passes to the meetup, to the show, and a Muskecon t-shirt of their appropriate size. So this I'll throw in the mail to them, and then they can get the other stuff when Muskecon rolls around next March. So
that is awesome. What a great.
Oh, hold on. Dusty just called me out. Stand by.
Go, Dusty!
And let's see. What do I got here? My giveaway box. And a nice stuff Outlander Glyos with removable helmet as well.
Oh, wow. Now that's awesome. So if you are able to go to Muskecon, and if you want all the goodies that Pete is offering up for us to give away. Amber, you want to bring up that hashtag?
Yes, I do. Hold on. I just can't see this thing. There we go. All right.
I just sent you the picture to go along with the hashtag, Amber.
I'm going to show that in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Pops peaked. Pops peaked.
Oh.
Hashtag Pops peaked. And we have the coolest picture to show you. All right, guys, start hashtag. And Amber, if you'll pull that down, I'm going to show this real quick. Because
that's my little man. That's my grandson Oliver, and it's so funny, man. I've told a lot of people this, in like, family wise, like I'm full. I've got a great family, and socially, like my friend group, I'm full, and professionally, I'm full. Like my cup just overflows. I had no idea that there was this little Oliver shaped hole in my heart, and this kid comes along and it has been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that's my little man there. He's got his Muskecon shirt on, and so yeah, we were doing our thing, and right there he's peeing. It got real warm after this picture was taken. So, but but yeah, so it was super cool to have them be a part of that. And one other little note too, the in the logo there's that Mandalorian helmet. So Andy Hasper, decorated military veteran and county sheriff's deputy in our county, and a friend of mine, um, is also was also a cosplayer with the Mandalorian Mercs, and custom armor for both him and his daughter. And they had so much fun coming to Muskecon and doing other conventions. And unfortunately, this last fall, he was diagnosed with a glioblastoma, and unfortunately succumbed to that very quickly after his diagnosis. So I spoke with his daughter Amelia, who is 10, and I asked if it would be okay if we used his helmet for the badges and in the logo, kind of as a memorial to him. And she thought that was super cool. So she came to the event. She had a dance competition, so they came right at the beginning, and we did some special VIP badges. I've got this amazing picture of her and her dad dressed in their Mandalorian costumes, walking away from the camera, and them holding hands. So we put that on the back of the VIP badges for them. It was a super cool moment. So, but yeah, so if anybody was curious as to why the Mando helmet, again, that it was a lot more than a shout out to the Star Wars nerds. So
that is amazing. So cool. What a great picture of
friggin'
you
Curtis.
guys. That is.
Oh,
Come on, Curtis. All right, so let's get to a few pictures that I have for Saturday. So this is the Nate and Travis and Jeremy at the Four Horsemen table. Of course, Jeremy then at showing off the stretch goals or the goals and the stretch goals for the dragon. And then some booths that were set up, selling legions, and then Carver Customs. I would just like to say that was a great custom there. So I did a custom and took it with me to deliver to somebody who wanted that custom from me. And so I took it to deliver it, and Brian and Stacy were kind enough to let me display it through Saturday so people could see it if they wanted to.
Can I? Was it somebody local? Can I ask who it was for?
So it was for Kirby.
Oh, okay.
Kirby wanted that really badly, and I did it for him. My son is a huge Green Bay fan. And so I asked my son about the colors and about everything. And so this was a custom that we did, and it was just Kirby was so excited to get that. And
Well,
again,
and Kirby was responsible for that dragon cake for the congratulations to Jim on his retirement. He
that's
didn't he wouldn't let anybody talk about that it was him, but I'm gonna do it on Legion's Ladies. That was Kirby that did that, and that was awesome. Absolutely
that was
awesome.
amazing. Yeah.
Art by Jeremy DeWitt, my man.
Yeah, so much greatness. And then pocket
Brandon,
crack there.
yeah, Brandon. That's Brandon Barker. That's actually Manor Monster Studios, the
Yeah,
creator of all those figures that you see displayed behind him in those racks.
that's
So
crazy. Pocket crack, I call it. Here's Brad from the studio with
It is
Greg.
for the bunch.
One of my favorite pictures of the weekend.
hoping he's back as a vendor next year. So he vended
Yeah.
last year. I'm hoping he comes back as a vendor next year.
He said his daughter had something and then it got moved and he was
Yep.
able to come. And then so I know he was upset, disappointed that he couldn't be there as a vendor this year.
Yeah, and let's be honest, kids are the worst. They ruin everything, and so,
You had some great cosplay this year. A lot more cosplay than I was expecting to see. But there was some great cosplay there this year.
that guy wanted everybody to know he was there. He's all over the social medias, and like he posted like on his way, like, "Hey, Elvis is coming, watch for me." And so yeah, he was super excited about getting into his get up.
That's awesome. And then, of course, we have the mythic and the three of the mythic enablers that were able to come, as well as Curtis showing up there in the background.
And Wyatt is so pretty. It's just not fair. Him and
Oh,
Joe Russo, like I kind of hope they have like some supervillain story where like half their face gets burned by acid or something,
no,
you know.
Wyatt is not only so pretty, but he is just one of the nicest
Oh,
people.
so
You ever notice when you watch him walk,
Yes.
it's always in slow motion? He just
I
no matter
didn't
what he's
notice that,
doing,
but
it's
I
just
will from
walk
now
and his
on.
hair just, you know what I mean? Like maybe he was born with it, maybe it's Maybelline, I
Oh
don't know.
man.
Like he just God, he's a knockout.
Well, and the other and just to give people kind of a context, Wyatt flew in from California, and um, when he got delayed, things happen, and then his bag didn't make it, and then his bag didn't make it, and then his
He,
bag didn't make it.
Greg Schmerber was nice enough to give him a new to Mythic shirt, so he at least had a clean T-shirt to wear. You know, like,
Just,
but that's but that's you talk about community, right? I mean, how cool is that? This
yeah,
picture, we're standing in little old Muskegon, Michigan, and you have Minnesota, Missouri, California, and Ohio all represented in that one photo.
yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
it
that's
is
that's that's thousands of miles traveled to be at this event, and
right
and every one of them were these smiles. That wasn't for the picture; they were smiling like that all weekend,
all
and it was
weekend. It
super
was
cool.
yeah, and it was amazing. And again, all the things that Wyatt was going through behind the scenes, if you saw him here or if you talked to him, he was upbeat. Everything was great. It was all going to work out, and it was awesome. So,
I had no idea there was a problem until I saw the Facebook post, and I was with him all weekend.
yeah,
So
I mean, you would not have known unless you had been there and he was talking about it first thing that morning. I felt so bad for him. But yeah, the community comes together, and he had the best time and was smiling the entire weekend. And then, of course, you have these two characters.
Motu Joe from Retro Rags, and of
Yeah.
course Jeremy DeWitt. And Motu Joe Retro Rags also does Mock Masters, which are protective case for collectibles, and the UV protection and that kind of stuff, like legit designed to take those high end figures and keep them nice for as long as you want them to. It's another cool little product that he offers.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Um, and this was the cutest couple, and the absolute best reaction the entire weekend, the entire time I have been collecting, was when she won a figure at the Mythic Meetup on Friday
Yep.
night. I wish I would have gotten it on camera, but it was absolutely the best reaction. And she is a collector.
Well,
Um,
so there's a smidge more to that story, and I'm not surprised that Tanya isn't telling it as a woman, but as a man, she got excited and she immediately ripped her shirt up. And there was this panic moment where I'm like, there are kids here. And what she was doing was she was showing off her Mythic Ravens t-shirt from the
right.
Gothotropolis Ravens. There was
She
like this,
was,
as a show promoter, there was this half a second where I went, okay, we're all right. She's just showing off her Mythic Legion shirt, you know. But
oh, but
I talked to them and I never caught their names. Again, jerk face. We've established that already. But they were so nice.
they told me twice, and I still to this day cannot remember. I
Yeah.
wish I could. If anybody knows it in the chat, please let me know what it is. She was the sweetest. She does not have a Facebook, so she couldn't join Legion's Ladies Live, but she did go on to the Legion's Ladies YouTube and saw that we who all the different people that we had interviewed, and she joined right then and said she was going to be watching those through the weekend. Just the absolute sweetest couple. So if you see them at another event, just go up and say hey, and they are both collectors and just as sweet as they come, as sweet as they come.
There are so
But
many
the
familiar
best,
faces and so many new ones all mixed together. It's just
I
every
know,
single time it's new people, man. It's awesome.
yeah, but the best reaction of anybody I've ever seen who won something.
Yep.
The best reaction.
You would have thought Roddy just called her name to The Price is Right. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes.
She was fired up, man.
She was. It was amazing. I loved it. I thought it was the best. And like you said, she jerked up because she had, but, and that was one of the things that she really wanted everybody, she
Yep.
collects. She
Yep.
wanted everybody to know, I collect too. It's
Yep.
not just him. So that was so sweet.
Yeah, that was super
Best
cool.
couple. All right. And then we have Jesse and Steve and Maverick and Noah and Wyatt and Eric all in one picture.
Look at him. Look at him. He's like he smuggled in ivory from the West Coast. Look at that smile. Hopefully he's got like webbed feet or something. He has to. Hopefully there's something physically wrong with him because it's not fair.
And then Wyatt posted that Dirk, I think it was Wyatt that posted that Dirk sold him his. Wyatt? Dirk sold one of his frogs, and I believe it was to Wyatt. But that was awesome. And then
Matthew Rodriguez, Ideas from
yes,
Mars. He's holding
yes.
one of the Kickstarter exclusive figures from his Armies of Ashmore run that actually just landed here stateside. I had the privilege of Matt does Tulip City Comic Con in Holland, which is about 45 minutes south of where I live, about 25 minutes south of Muskegon. He does Tulip City. That's in a couple of weeks. And then him and I do Toy Haven together, which is strictly just a toy show in the fall. And I've had the privilege of not only being friends with him, but watching him write comics, the Defenders of Eden comics, Disciple 6, and Modern Wonders. He has 3 different comics that are currently running. They're all successful. He took characters from Defenders of Eden, that comic story, specifically the Armies of Ashmore, and brought them to life via toys, sculpted by the Four Horsemen. They are beautiful and they're amazing. What he did was he donated one of the Kickstarter exclusives as a raffle, but the deal was it was kids only. Because that's just Matt's style, right? And
Awesome.
this is the kid right here. This is the kid that won that figure, and how cool is that?
That is amazing.
I love
That
that.
is so fun. What a great guy
I
that
really love
he
his
is.
outfit.
I really I've cosplayed for one con, and it was a few years ago, and it was Tulip City. It was Matt's show, and there was a group of us, like 10 or 12 of us that cosplayed as Matt, and we all just showed up in cut off shorty shorts. It was pretty funny.
Oh,
And then
that's
one of the guys
awesome.
sneezed and showed people too much, and then we had to change. But it was super cool. So
We
Oh,
do have a
that's
super
funny.
chat from
Okay.
Curtis.
of course you do.
He says, "People, I implore you, please buy some Defenders of Eden so Matt can afford new pants."
He pays extra to have him look like that. So
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, and then of course, Drunk Gizmo Customs, Alexander Deshaw, showing the barbarian with the cape.
and
I
that's an
think that's
Ackerman
him.
cape, right?
Yeah, Darla.
Yep.
Yeah, art by Ackerman, Darla cape.
Right. So Drunk Gizmo Customs repping a figure with a art by Ackerman Darla custom cape while wearing a Carver Customs T-shirt because that's what we do. That's
That's what we
that's what
do.
this is, man. You know.
Celebrate and encourage everybody.
Yep.
This I know we've already shown Matt, but this was the absolute best picture of Maverick looking over like, what are you doing?
With the gentleman with his back to us is Ben Talmadge, who does retro re-robot. He was in the back corner. Big hardcore Transformers guy. He's the one that we call Scooter Shortmidge because his last name's Talmadge, but he's actually short. And at IndyCon one year, he wrecked a scooter and blew his arm apart.
Oh
So, but yeah, yep. And
no.
then Boop, and then Bee Boop, our favorite robot.
Yeah.
So,
That's hilarious. But that face he made right there,
mhm.
I had to put it in here. I thought that was funny. And then there's somebody hiding in this picture. I'm not sure that you can see who's hiding there.
So that's Bean. That is Jeremy's daughter. And so she was cosplaying as SpongeBob, did a great job. She also helped me. She is such a cool kid. She also helped me judge the cosplay contest.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
she's
Yeah.
cool.
What a great thing. And then there I am with Wyatt and Noah, Dirk and Steven
That's
again.
a Wyatt has a food fighter in his pocket.
Yeah. I like that you saw that immediately. Like, I know what that is.
Yep.
And then I had the opportunity to sit down with Jeremy. We found a quiet room and sat down and talked for a little bit. Talked mainly about the dragon, but also about how busy his March is and what all is going on at the studio and what all is going on in his life. But yeah, lots of dragon information there. So if you have, if you just want to see something, go check it out. It is on the Legions Ladies Live. And then here is Kirby with his figure.
So good.
He was so excited to get that. So excited. And I was excited to give it to him.
All right. Such a nice
Although
guy.
my son was not excited for me to take that away. And then there it is. The best picture of the day.
That was so much fun.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I think those are all the pictures that I had from the event that I pulled down. Again, it was just a really, really good event, Pete.
It was fun. It was a good time.
So you are walking around, you are talking with people. I know every once in a while you have to go hide. But in and amongst talking with everybody going on, like, do you have any like great like stories that people told you or things that they came up and said, hey, this was great, we did this? Anything that just stood out to you for the weekend itself?
I a lot of little moments, and seeing the people as they arrive, that's some of the most fun for me, because there are so many people that I don't get to see on a regular basis, and being able to greet people and what have you. So that's probably a highlight. As the show kind of comes to a close, I check in with the vendors, and I really the it's very important. It's my responsibility to get people to show up, right? To get people through the door, because the vendors obviously need to make money to come back the next year, and I need to make sure that my vendors are happy, because if they're happy, then they'll come back. Well, if I don't have vendors, I don't have people. So it's obviously the symbiotic relationship of all that. And so when I'm talking to the vendors, and I had 4 or 5 vendors this year that have had their best show ever, and that just kind of gets me fired up. Like, nobody's walking out of there hanging their head. Almost everybody that leaves has something in their hands, and that makes me incredibly happy to see that everybody's having a good time. Um, I was really trying to think of, like, I didn't have any problems. I didn't really have, I mean, other than, like, hey, can I get another tablecloth, or that type of stuff, where it's just, you know man, there wasn't really anything that I had to deal with, and that's amazing to me, that
That is
there's so many
amazing.
moving parts. So, but no, it'll always come back to the people, and we joked about it, on Friday night. Um, you show up for the toys and you stay for the friends, and that's such a real thing at this show. The worst part about the whole weekend was Saturday night about 10 o'clock. I was like, I gotta go. It's bedtime. I just kind of hit the wall, and everybody was still talking, and I hated to leave because everybody was still having fun. But I mean, just mentally, I was drained, and it was time for me to kick back and relax. It didn't help that on Friday I accidentally got absolutely hammered. Um, and I normally, as a rule, I
Accidentally.
don't I don't get drunk the
Yeah.
night before the con. Um, I don't. I'm one of these fortunate people that have a medicine that made me lose some weight, so I don't know how to drink anymore. And I was
Ah,
like, "Hey, we're doing shots," and then I was like hammered enough to where my lovely wife like literally assembled my CPAP machine and put it on my face for me, kind of drunk. So,
wow.
but I got a ton of compliments the next morning, because they're like, "How are you alive, let alone
Yeah.
chipper?" And I was like, "Well, I know what to drink. I just had too much of it." But no, just and like I said, an absolute blast. Um, and it gets you fired up for the week leading up to. There's all of the anxiety of, what did you forget? I had an issue with badges, for instance. I woke up to a message that I got late Sunday night. So I got it Monday morning that my badge guy wasn't going to be able to do badges for me. So I'm like, I'm 4 days away from the event, and so I scrambled, and I get by with a little help from my friends. I called. I got a contact number of a mutual friend who does that stuff, and I had badges 4 days later. And um, I looked at my wristbands, and I had a bunch of balls of them in my tote for the con. Cool, I'm good. Well, come Friday, I'm moving things around, and realized that last year when we packed them away, they got accordion folded and rubber banded together. So when I counted 8 loops, it wasn't 8 packages, it was one package just folded like this. And
Oh
so
no.
I'm scrambling, and I ended up getting a hold of a friend of mine who works at the school district, and they had a ton from an MHSAA event. So I was able to go and pick up wristbands from them, and then just buy and replace theirs. And so it's that, like I said, that kind of final push. And then when people start showing up and those racks start going up, and then the next morning it's, people start walking in the door, that all just melts away. And then you immediately get excited to do it all over again, because you forget some of the stressful aspects of it. So, but no, I wouldn't have changed anything. Like I said, I having my whole family there was absolutely awesome. All the friends, all the people that came in from all around, to be a part of it, smiles all day. And there was a lot of vendors I didn't even get a chance to talk to really during the show, because they had customers the entire time. every time I
Right.
walk by, they were taking care of customers, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But I also pride myself on checking in and making sure they're good, and so yeah. All in all, it was an absolutely great weekend.
So one of the things that I saw that I know that a lot of cons don't do, and I saw it at your con, that was amazing as far as being a vendor, is you guys went around and um, took
Lunch orders?
lunch orders
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
delivered those lunch orders, and I was like, that is cool.
Well, that was something that I brought up the very early stages of the first con, because I know so many vendors are solo and they're
Hmm.
not able maybe to get away to be able to do that kind of thing. So um, one of the things that my staff does is my staff will watch booths for bathroom breaks and that type of thing. So then they have an actual Muskecon representative that's in the booth protecting their stuff while they're gone. And yeah, the venue does the lunches. They leave tickets and you can fill them out, um, and they said they get delivered right back to the booth. And a lot of people take advantage of that. So,
Yeah.
and that's been one of the biggest compliments I've gotten from the vendors is how well we take care of them. And again, that's another part of the pride aspect of doing the event. When, like I said, when the vendors are happy, they're going to come back, and I don't have a show without them. So,
Right.
yeah, that's a big deal to me that we're able to do that.
Yeah, that was amazing. I was like, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Oh, we're giving our order for lunch." And I'm like,
You
"Genius!
know,
Everybody should do that. Like that
yeah,
should be a requirement to,
yep,
that's awesome. That's what a
yeah,
great idea."
yeah, it worked out really
Um,
well.
yeah.
Except for that one time that Jeremy never got his lunch, and I still have to hear about it because he's kind of whiny. So
Because he's good.
So Jeremy, just so you know, Curtis gave $5 towards our theme song for the Legions Ladies Live, and then my wife is going to kill me podcast said that they were going to give us $5 as well off of the theme song. So we're $10 to the good at this point. We just got to come up with the rest of it.
and Jeremy, you have no proof who was posting as my wife was going to kill me. So just knock $5 off and be done with it.
We have another super chat.
Okay.
Curtis Ackerman. The talented Jeremy DeWitt is in the chat. Check out his album Echoes Another Path on Spotify.
It's absolutely amazing. The band is Another Path. The second album just dropped, which is Echoes. In front to back, it's absolutely amazing. He has a previous album on there as well that has 3 tracks, um, and it's just great music. And when you listen to it, and please actually pull it up and give it a listen,
Yeah.
and and understand that it's Jeremy. So it's completely written by Jeremy, lyrically, musically. Every instrument is Jeremy: guitar, bass, drums, organ. I mean, it's 100% him, and it is stellar. And it's easy to say good things about your friends. Luckily, he's one of those talented guys where I don't have to lie. Because I have a couple of rules in this world, and one is I will not tell you your baby is cute if your baby is ugly. Because I know no baby deserves to start their life out full of lies.
It's
And I
true.
refuse to talk about how great somebody was after they die if they were a dick. Those are two of my bugaboos. Like, oh man, yeah, John, man, he was a really no, he wasn't. John was a jerk. You know it. I know it. Nobody liked to be around John, and now that he's dead, we don't have to worry about avoiding him in the bar because he's gone. So, luckily, he's talented enough to where when I say it's good, I can actually say that, and it really is. So,
Oh, that's awesome. Um, Amber, do you see Jeremy's comment
What?
there? Just need to come up with
70
760.
more. We're so close.
that is a
We're
little steep.
so
It
close, Jeremy.
not
We're so close.
not only is it a little bit steep, but I have trouble believing that it was originally 779. I have a feeling the 69 was intentional on Jeremy's part. So,
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, uh, Pete, I love when you come on the show.
well, thank you guys for having me, and I appreciate you uh I appreciate you guys giving me a chance because let's be honest, those of the people that are watching this that pay attention to the "My Wife's Gonna Kill Me" podcast, um, I am very much who I am
Yeah.
all of the time,
You
and
are.
so the I'll never forget the first time I went on POTU with Jeremy and Steve. They were really nervous, and they should be because I know who I am. They know who I am. So no, I do appreciate the opportunity to be able to do this stuff, and I'm running the count in my head. I only swore one time,
I know,
and I didn't
right?
make any like super inappropriate jokes. Like this is a big deal. So I'm
This is amazing.
now that I'm a grandpa, I'm maturing apparently.
You
You know,
are. It's
so
so amazing.
um, but but
All
yeah,
right.
so
Well, let's see where we are. We've got hashtag Pops Peaked. Where are we? How many do we have?
We
Everybody.
had 20 in there.
Okay. We have
31
31 people.
watching.
All right. Pops Pete. We're going to give you just a couple of seconds more. So he's giving away a sticker pack. He's giving away some pens. My wife is going to kill me. Podcast pens.
pins.
He is pens.
They're pins, Miss Carolina.
The first time
Pens.
she did that to me on the phone, I thought she was
Not
talking about
pens,
pens
pins.
too. Mm-hmm.
Pens.
I was like, "Oh, pens. That sounds cool." And then she sent me the picture, and I was like, "Pens."
Wait, hold. You know what? I will throw in a pen. I will throw in this click stick pen. So now it's accurate.
Pens. I don't know how to say it other than that. And then he's giving away a Glyos figure that has a removable helmet. And he is giving away tickets to the Mythic Meetup and the Muskecon 2026, as well as a t-shirt for Muskecon 2026. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of stuff, Pete.
Tickets will cover your family. Just one t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Just one t-shirt. Don't get greedy.
One t-shirt. Tickets for the family.
Tickets
one
for
t-shirt.
the family. Which one t-shirt.
All right.
But you can get a 5X and wear it together if you want. That's up to you.
So. Yeah, well, there you go.
Like a poncho.
All right. Okay.
I think you mean serape, but okay.
All right. Hashtag Pops Pete.
Here we go.
Here we go. Come on. Big money. Big money.
That's no fair. You cheated.
Do it again. Spin it again. Ackerman, you better post up like a visiting team home run at Wrigley Field. You better throw that back. Not sending him nothing. All right, congratulations, Curtis.
What a winner.
The funny part is you add up all the value of what I'm giving away. I think he lost money after his super chat.
He said spin again.
He said spin again. I knew he would.
All right.
Hey, will you put up the picture of Curtis as a thank you for him throwing it back that I sent you guys?
Did you send it to?
I sent it to Amber. You want me to send it to you, Tanya?
Send it to me and I'll put it up. Oh, I got it.
Send.
All right. Amber, if you want to bring that up and give me just a second, I'm gonna.
I'm gonna laugh when it spins and it's Darla. Because I'll send it to Darla.
I know you will. All right, let me see if I can grab it now.
Pete Mitchell's not allowed to win either.
There we go.
So I get this picture as we're leaving the station, and so this is Curtis in my office at the firehouse, and the text says, "I'm the chief now," and I just died. I could not heart emoji that picture quick enough. He had me rolling. Oh, so good.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that's a great example of just the relationships, man. That
Oh
all
yeah.
started over plastic toys. Are you kidding me? Just
Yeah.
awesome.
It's
Just
crazy.
awesome, man.
All right, Amber, are you ready to go back? Yeah. Let's roll it again.
Rolling it again. Oh, so exciting.
Does anybody else think it's weird that Amber's in the thing?
Jimmy!
No,
That
I
is
need my chance to come to
awesome!
Muskecon.
I know. Jimmy, now you're
I'm-
going to come with us to Muskecon.
Yes. Congrats,
Yay.
Jimmy. If you I honestly can't say I know who Jimmy is. And if I do
got
know you, Jimmy, I'm totally sorry. If you will help facilitate getting an address for me, Tanya, I'll get that stuff shipped out. So
Absolutely. Yes. Jimmy and I are great friends. He actually did the dio for my 4 customs for the school customs that I did.
oh, very cool.
So he did the dio for those. He is the best guy, just a great guy.
G just posted up, and I call him G because, like everybody else, I can't say his first name.
Right,
He
right.
just posted, "Hey, Amber, we're doing a road trip next year, all of us."
Yeah.
And he posted up earlier talking about how he wish he could have gone to Muskecon. I'm going to tell him like G can pretend all day long that he has the option to come to Muskecon, but I know that wife of his saw the Glios halls out of Muskecon, and there ain't no way that she's not coming to Muskecon. So it's going to be one of those situations where, hey, G, if you want to come with me, great, but I'm going to Muskecon. So those are 2 people I had so much fun with at Legion's Con. I hope they make it to Muskecon. That'd be an absolute riot. So
Liz said that she's in for a road trip. Liz, how far of a road trip is that for you? Just a question.
who's Liz?
Liz is
Florida, right?
Jeffrey Evans' wife, and they live in Florida.
Oh, that's depending on where they're at in Florida. They're talking 20 to 24 hours.
I'm like, Liz, how much of a road trip would that be for you?
So I will tell you that there was quite a few people that flew in this year, and for people in the community, there was some good conversations about carpooling, because the Grand Rapids Airport is about 45 minutes from Muskegon. I'm sorry, from where I live. It's closer to 35 from to the actual venue. It's not a bad ride. And like I said, this year there was a few people that that caught rides or were able to carpool together, and so throw it out on the boards, man. We're on enough of these message boards where we can facilitate hooking somebody up and trying to get people from the airport if they want to come out. So
absolutely. All right. Well, Pete, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I know that tonight was all about Muskecon because I just want to talk about it because I was so excited about going, and it lived up to every expectation that I had. It was amazing. So really wanted tonight to be about that, but we are going to have you on and do a regular interview with you, which should be a lot of fun.
A regular Legion's Lady interview or a regular interview?
A regular Legion's Ladies interview.
Just as long as I know the criteria. So
yes, Legion's Ladies interview.
I will only come on and do a traditional Legion's Lady interview if you 2 and your husbands join us for a Patreon only uncensored "My wife is going to kill me" episode. That is 100% no holds barred. So think that through. Talk to Kevin. Talk to Sugarloaf. Figure out if you guys can make that happen. So
we're in.
I will be either way. I will be absolutely honored to come back. So
Well, we are. I think we're both in. I don't think we
perfect,
need to ask anybody for permission.
perfect.
I think it will be a free for all that will be awesome.
So we very early on in the Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast, we actually brought our wives into the studio and started pouring them wine, and had a good friend of ours, Vernetta, kind of interview them, and it was one of the most fun things we've ever done. So we should definitely try to recreate that. So
We would love, like, I would love to have your wives on the show and talk to all of them. I mean, that would be amazing if we could get that worked out.
be
That would be
be,
awesome.
be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, no, I'm not, but that would be awesome. Amber and I would have the best
Oh yeah,
conversations.
Yes, we will.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. So yes, no, I'm not going to be careful there. I would love that. All right, before we get off here real quick, I saw this posted today. They're doing a Bear Theater telethon for the final stretch for the Bear Theater Dragon. It is going to start Saturday night at 9 o'clock with the PPG, go to 11, and then Ostradamus Toys Clubhouse is going to go at 11 to 3. Let's Go Off World is going to be 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. New to Mythics is going to run 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Art by Ackerman, 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. Latin Legions, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then Just Shelve It and Legion's Lounge is going to run from 7 to 11.
that
What
is
I
the most
love
offensive poster I've ever seen.
what I love about this most of all, though, Amber, something missing on that. Like, they didn't even ask.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Yeah, us neither.
yeah, there
We
was
want
no
our own
even
gauntlet.
ask.
I'm pretty certain that the Latin legions would say that's loco, that they're not having the Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast be a part of it. So
Yeah, and Legion's Ladies is not a part of it. I'm just saying.
This is
Just put that
crazy.
out there. We weren't even asked.
Preposterous, if you ask me.
I know. I mean,
how do you not get the Legions ladies or the My Wife's Gonna Kill Me crew as part of this, but you have every show that Curtis is on?
Yep.
everyone.
Every single one.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Curtis has an ex-girlfriend who's Latina, and he's part of Latin Legions now. I'm pretty certain. So
This should be a fun time. And if you are wanting to stay up 24 hours, well, more than 24 hours, please join into that. Because the Legion's ladies are not going to be part of it, evidently. My wife is going to kill me. It's not going to be part of that. And you guys are even live on Sunday mornings, right?
we are, yep.
Yeah.
So
and you're not, okay, yeah. We
we
see where the love is.
we go live Sunday morning at 9, which means 9:30.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Give or take, just depending on.
We get on Sunday mornings to give our sermon, and so we're humble enough that we like to pick a time slot where we weren't competing with anybody else important.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, I did, before we started Legion's Ladies, I did talk to Dorklayer. And I was like, you go every other week. Is it okay if we use the weeks that you're not going? And he was like, well, we go every other week unless I need to move things around. I was like, well,
We're
we'll be
coming
pretty
up.
consistent.
Well, and what's crazy too is 2025 is actually the 10-year anniversary of My Wife's Gonna Kill Me. And
Really?
yeah, we just recorded episode 346 or so, and that doesn't include probably 100 movie reviews and other things that we did that weren't necessarily like numerical
Right.
episodes. And we typically go 2.5, 3 hours every week. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I can't believe we still have stuff to talk about. But then again, we're constantly kind of trying to keep things fresh. We've moved studios, we've upgraded equipment. We added Jeremy eventually down the way, and then we started doing the YouTube thing. And of course, with Steven's dissociative identity disorder, he's a different person every couple of weeks, which is awesome. Most recently, he was Emo Steve, or Steamo as we call him.
I saw that.
And so yeah, it's been fun. But
Well, it is fun to tune in to you guys on
oh,
Sunday mornings. It is. I laugh a lot. It is a good time. Um, but yes,
if
it
you're
is
ever
fun.
watching and you go, man, is there anything they won't say? The answer is no.
Nope,
The answer is no. There is
there
nothing
is not.
that they won't say. I'm just waiting. I'm at this point. We're all just waiting to be canceled. Like, and I don't mean like the show doesn't go anymore. I mean like canceled. Like
Yeah.
legit, lose everything you have canceled. So
Oh,
the
but
one of the
it
best
is.
compliments that we've ever gotten about our show is that I just feel like I'm sitting around with my a-hole buddies having a conversation, and we've tried to keep it that way. And for the most part, we've been pretty successful. We have a lot of fun with it. So
Yeah, it is a lot of fun to watch, and I enjoy it. Kevin, and there are times when you guys are talking, and I'm going, "Did they just say that?"
I
And it's probably that exact face.
yeah, well, and it's funny too. So I did kind of I know you guys are right up on your time, but to give you a little insight, uh I started doing stand-up comedy back in 2012. And it was really looking for something to do outside of my day job, right? It was all about needing some sort of outlet, if you will, for my own mental health. I had a couple of really rough days on shift, and like I got to do something. So I started doing stand-up comedy and absolutely enjoyed that. So I'm like, wait a minute, you're gonna give me a microphone, let me say whatever I want for the next 5 to 7 minutes in front of a crowd. I love the sound of my own voice. I love being the center of attention, and all I ever do is try to make people laugh. Like stand-up comedy, I was made for it, right? So I did that, and I did that for quite a few years, and I've done quite a few shows, and really enjoyed myself. And as my family got bigger and stuff, time is different, work changes, and the podcast has filled that void. That the podcast is what scratches that itch for me getting up and doing shows and what have you. And I had taken a little bit of a break. I did a show last summer, then this last fall, or I'm sorry, this last Christmas in December, I went up and did a show that I hadn't done in quite a few years, and it was so much fun to be back on that stage. But like the live show at Legion's Con, that's what that is that's
Yeah.
about a performance trying to make people laugh. And whether it's doing a parody song, or whether it's doing a roast, or just generally crap talking, it really is a lot of fun. And to have so many people enjoy that with us, and even when we do get you know dark, and some of the topics and some of the things that are said, everybody knows who we are, everybody knows our heart, everybody understands that being funny is being funny, and sometimes a shock laugh is a laugh nonetheless. And
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in the years that I've tried to write good comedy. I haven't yet, but I've been trying. Is there really is no topic that is off limits as long as the joke is crafted well enough.
Right.
If you can take something that is normally off kilter or taboo, or normally makes people uncomfortable, and you can spin it and you can make it funny and you can make people laugh in that moment, that's an amazing feeling, and everybody experiences that together. And that's what's great about doing the show, and especially doing it on YouTube now, is there's people experiencing that in the moment with us. And I never thought in a million years that our podcast would do anything other than be a hobby for us. And we've had numerous people reach out, and they're in the hospital with their kid, and like things aren't going well, and they're messaging us like, hey, you made me laugh today, and I haven't laughed in a week. and I'm literally here in the NICU with my newborn baby, and then watch that, I'm going to drop his name because he knows it's all right, but Anthony Houseel, his little guy had some struggles when he first came into this world, um, uh, and we kind of communicated, hey man, thanks for the laughs this morning. I needed that. And then to watch little Tony grow up, and then to get pictures of him wearing the "My Wife's Gonna Kill Me" onesie that I sent him just because I thought it'd be funny to see a baby in that. And now flash forward, and it's like I'm texting with the guy. I see him. It's always big hugs. I mean, he's opened up his house to us to stay at for cons. I mean, he's become a real friend. He's become a real brother, and it was all over something as silly as us sitting around talking about toys and comics. I mean, that's amazing, absolutely
It
amazing
is.
to me. And so yeah, we'll. And the funny part is everybody's like, well, you'll probably keep doing it as long as there's people listening. No, we'll keep doing it anyways
Yeah.
because it never mattered. We didn't think anyone was going to listen anyways. So and we've come a long way from episode 0 where Steve's literally snorting Xanax off the table just to talk into the microphone because he was so nervous. But but yeah, so and I think part of it too, kind of while we're finishing kind of on a serious note, it's very, very cool for us to see all of the other podcasters that we've inspired.
Yeah.
All the people that have looked at us and followed in our footsteps. I mean, if you think about it, without My Wife Is Going to Kill Me, there's no Legion's Lounge, there's no Legion's Lair, there's no Off World, there's no New to Mythics, there's none of that. Nobody would have ever podcasted about toys if it weren't for us. We are the reason that all of this is happening. And you're welcome, everybody. I tried to keep a straight face. I tried. Um, but no, it's like I said, it's been an absolute blast. And like I said, to be able to do these kind of things, um, and and literally walk up to the Legion's Ladies Live event and like with a shirt on that was intentionally supposed to insult half the people in the room and have most people not even notice what I did. And then we just run of the mill normal conversation. And they're like, isn't that the guy that keeps getting kicked, keeps getting deleted on the cabal? Yep, that's him. Hey, here I am. Um, so
I know.
yeah.
And you
Oh,
woke up and just sat down and had a conversation
yeah.
with us.
Oh, and behaved even for the most part.
I
So
know. I know. And tonight you've behaved.
oh,
It has been
yeah. Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
So proud of you.
I have one of those little shock bands on. My wife has been sitting watching this whole thing, and every time I start to get away, she's shocking my wrist. That's why I keep twitching. So, well,
Oh my goodness. All right. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Please, please, please. Well, maybe not like when you have your family around, but when they're not around, when the kitties aren't around, please watch My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me podcast because it is so wonderful. It
right.
is so funny. And it will keep you in stitches all day long. You will
Well,
be thinking about some of that all
and
day
we don't
long.
want to just generalize that to kids.
No.
Most likely the elderly, people that are religious, minorities. I mean, there's a whole slew of people you shouldn't listen to us in front of. So, if we're
But
only
they
being
are
honest.
but they are fun and it is a lot of fun to watch. But most importantly, mark your calendars. March of next year.
March of next year, I actually, the venue has some weird rules about being able to book, and they only let me book 6 months out. But I've been in communications with them this week, and because we've been so loyal, we've been doing it for so long, they're going to let me push it out to 8 months. So we'll actually be able to announce in July of this year of the dates. And in July, it'll be dates for the event, dates for the mythic meetup, those details, plus the room block. That was a struggle this year. And not because of them, because of me. I asked for it and they got it, but it came from a different person that handles that at the convention center, and I didn't see it in my email. So I scrambled last minute. So there's all these things that I want to do better, and Jeremy's going to help keep me in line. And
Yep.
so yeah, lots of information to come, lots of details and what have you. So
Awesome. So go ahead and mark out March of next year. Although Pete, not around the 13th.
nope, it'll if I looked correctly. So historically, Muskecon has always been the second to last Saturday in March, which I believe is
Okay.
the 21st.
Okay.
So, and like I said, that's historically the convention center that we use caters to the week long conventions, the work groups and they like to, part of the shtick is they love to book out the hotel as well. So if I
Right.
want to book, like if I want to book next year now, I also have to book 250 hotel rooms, which is just not realistic for my event.
Right.
So um but now that we've got some of that dialed in and I've got Jeremy on my back, I'm sorry, that sounded wrong. Not he's not on my back. He's got my back.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, he's been on my back, but that's a Legion's thing. Never mind. But yes, so yeah, we'll be able to get all that information out much sooner, and people can make arrangements. And I'm hoping that between the room block and the dates and the chatter about the con and the chatter about the Mythic meetup, I'm hoping that some more people take advantage of that and show up next year. And my dream would be that we have to open up that wall for the Mythic meetup, and we've got to double that space, and we still fill it. That would be the dream. So
That would be awesome. That would be exciting. So yes. Jeremy, I will do anything for $1.
except write you guys a jingle for your show. That's going to cost you $769. So yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a $10 off because we got $10 to go towards.
So Jeremy, at this point, you need to pay them $9 and then do their video, because you'll do anything for $1 and they've got 10 going towards it. So you owe them an awesome song, jingle, and video, and you owe them $9.
Okay. Woohoo!
Yep.
I like Pete's math. I like
That's
it.
a win.
I like
That's
it.
a win.
So mark out March of next year. More information to come, hopefully in July. And as long as it's not around the weekend of the 13th, Kevin and I will probably be there.
What's going on the 13th? Can I ask?
My goddaughter is getting married on the 13th. One of my goddaughters is getting married on March 13th next year.
I said it earlier in the episode. I'll say it again. Kids ruin everything.
Yeah. And then the other goddaughter is getting married the 13th of November, right after Legion's Con this year.
Man, they didn't talk to their godparents and really plan this real well, did they?
I'm telling you. And I love my girls. Like, I love them. I have a son. I don't have girls, so they are my girls. I've been with them since they've been born. They mean a lot to me. So to be able to go to their weddings is awesome. But we literally get back from Legion's Con on Monday or Tuesday that week, and her wedding is on Thursday.
Oh, jeez.
And
you have to travel far for it, or are they local?
They're local.
Oh,
so
good.
It's not going to be very much travel.
Right.
But then in March, it's down in Wilmington, which is 3 to 4 hours away from where we are. So I've got to get a room down there, and then we'll head up to, as long as it's not on that weekend, we'll head up to Muskecon afterwards. So
yeah, the 13th is very early. That's the only downfall to March. You go too soon and people are trying to load in and there's snow on the ground. Like March is such a weird month here in Michigan. It is. So, but yeah.
All right.
Well, good. Well, tell Kevin I said hello. Tell Sugarloaf I said hello. Big hugs all around.
All right.
And thank you guys again for having me. This was awesome.
And if we don't see you before, we are going to see you at Legion's Con.
You will definitely see me at Legion's Con. I got 2 more daughters that are getting to get married. I've married one of them off. I got 2 more to go. And they just know, like, you don't get married in November. Because early November, Dad's in New Jersey, and end of November, he's eating turkey. So you better stay away from November, or their dad ain't gonna be there. You know what I mean? I'll zoom in from the live show.
Oh, all right, everybody. Good night. Have a great one. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you all in a couple of weeks. Bye.